everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is I, the Conservative Coin Collector. And the last video I did, I talked about my silver and silver volatility, and I also talked about my recent coin haul. Here's the receipt from it. And I had an internal conversation with myself about my silver collection and what I am going to put back into my coin binder and what I'm going to sell if push comes to shove. I think I had it externally too, and I kept rambling, and the video was a little longer than it probably should have been, but here's what I'm going to do today. Off camera, I sorted through the coins that I'm going to put back into storage. I still have tons of silver, and this thing it's hard to open with one hand. And this is the stuff that I'm not putting back into circulation. This 1921 Morgan dollar is in way worse condition than my other Morgans that I have. So it's staying in here with my silver rounds and 35% war nickels and mostly 90% dimes. They're staying in the cheese container. These, on the other hand, are going to be put in flaps like this. And I don't have a small stapler. I have a quite large stapler for like stapling books and things of that nature. I'm going to be using is the stapler. And as you can see, I can staple very large things with it. I don't have a small one. This is the one that I got. And I also have extra staples. And the staples need to be used up because these staples are older than I am. My mom probably got them in college, and that was the early 90s. So these are 30-plus-year-old staples, and she doesn't care if I use them up on what I'm going to use them for. So let's get started here. I'm going to start at the very top, and if the tower collapses, I don't care. I just wanted it for the intro here. I'm going to start with my half dimes. They're definitely in very rough shape, but I have an 1848 and 1853 half dime respectively. 57, not 53. These are the oldest pieces of silver I'm going to cover, and I'm going to put them in a dime flap. I got a dime flap. This is good for, I think, a penny, maybe a quarter. And for the Morgans, I have very large ones here. But once I put them on this plastic here, they should be good to go, and they're never going to get any worse than they already are. They're already protected from circulation being in here, but this is even more of a protectant. But 1848 is the oldest thing that I have. A lot of crazy things happened in the year 1848 when this half dime was minted. The California Gold Rush discovery happened, the publication of the Communist Manifesto, and James K. Polk was president. And look at how many states we had in 1848. This is the 1848 election on 270 to win here, versus states we didn't have. The furthest out west we had was Texas. And none of these states were discovered and founded yet. Half the country. Next up are the dimes. I have a mercury dime, a few mercury dimes, a barber dime, and a couple of silver rosy dimes. So 3 generations of dime. A 1911 barber dime, a couple of merc dimes from 1945 and 41, 47 rosy dime, a 58 rosy dime, and a 46 rosy dime. 1911. I think that's the year the Titanic sank. This coin was actually minted 1 year before the Titanic. The RMS Titanic sank April 15th, 1912. This coin was from 1911. 1911 was the same year that President Ronald Reagan, Lucille Ball, and Vincent Price and Ginger Rogers were all born in 1911. Unfortunately, they have all died. And I am a sucker for a good I Love Lucy episode. The 1945 and 41 Merc dimes were minted throughout World War II. There's a lot of history there. And the 40s and 50s Roosevelt dimes. Also, let's see, World War II. And 1958 was the end of the Second World War. So, still a lot of history, especially from 1958, because it's lived through the 60s through the 2020s. If these coins could talk, if any of my coins could talk, I would listen to their stories and ask them whose pockets they've been in, what they got spent on at one point. It would be very interesting and an honor to hear these stories of these coins if they could talk. Here I have about $3 in just silver quarters. And it's not just the silver George Washington quarters, no. I have a Standard Liberty quarter. 1927. And Liberty's breast is chainmailed. The bare-breasted quarter is from about 10 years before this. And you could just see Liberty's eyes, nose, and mouth. And the fact that this quarter will be turning 100 next year is pretty astounding. The rest of these are all silver Washington quarters. 1939 is the oldest. I think I have a 64 in here. It's funny. My dad has a bunch of change in a piggy bank that I went through a few years back, and he had a lot of 1965s. He probably thought that 1965 was the year that silver was taken out of the quarter, but it was 1964. And unfortunately, I shattered a couple of dreams of his, but as part of the trade. Part of being a coin collector is shattering dreams, unfortunately. It's funny, I was at my coin shop that I went to the other day. I think it was like the first or second time I was there. He got a call, and the lady gave the sob story. You know, husband is dead on a fixed income. She had, I think, like maybe 2 Canadian dimes and 14 wheat cents. And that's chump change. I have a little more than just 14 wheat cents. Just a little more than that. I have a whole, this is like a penny box worth of wheat cents, or a cent box, however you want to say it. But, yep. I went in, I've gone in several times, and I got a conclusion to that story. That was like there was a hole in the envelope that got damaged in shipping, and the dimes fell out, and he was just being a nice guy and gave the lady $20 for her damages, which is way more than what everything was worth. Just listen. It just sounds different. Silver has a nice... It's crazy how much different it sounds compared to the clad coins that we have today. Little update. We got about $1.25 left in quarters, and I ran completely out of staples. It was about to here when I first got it, so I knew I was going to run out, but that's why I have this thing. She is now full and ready to staple even more. Last of the coins I have to put in the flaps are my 3 Walking Liberty half dollars and my Morgan and Peace dollars. I got a 1935, 36, and 45 working every $0.50. My markers are from 1887, 1896. My peace dollars from 1923. I still love the sound of silver. Well, they're not going to put themselves in flaps, and I need both hands. Let's actually see if they'll fit. Yep, they'll fit. I'm going to do my Morgan and peace dollars, and they fit perfectly in this circle. It is dang near perfect. Nothing more satisfying than the coin that's going to fit right in the circle. Everything's flapped. It's all ready to go on the binder, and I'm going to do it off camera. And I'm going to add, on top of this, my haul from the coin store a couple of days ago. So I have quite a few things that are ready to go into storage for who knows how long. I'm a conservative coin collector. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. So long, everybody.